Welcome to the FTTV podcast. We're very excited because round zero is called, but round one is upon us. It's been a frantic few days, frantic few weekends. I know I cleared my weekend for Supercoach, but regardless, we've got a lot to discuss today. So on the agenda, we're going to discuss our structures. We're going to go through the news, basically, injury news and whatnot, and a few interesting ones today, which we'll go through. What we took out of round zero, and we'll also go through what we think are the relevant players in each line, and we'll go through the defenders and which premium defenders do we prefer, and sort of put them all in a bracket and list them off, sort of thing. So, boys, how are we? Enno, how you going?
Good, mate. If I'm looking to the left or right, whatever way it works on video, I'll be looking at this draft I'm in the middle of at the minute, with 8 teams, and the boys are, picking some weird picks. Just saw text go. Zach Williams went in I think it was the 5th round. So I don't know what some of the boys are doing, but probably only 2 or 3 of us really know what's going on. So I'll share the team at the end because I think it'll be done by the end of the podcast. But keen to talk about round one. Very, very keen. This preseason's been a mess. My head's all over the place. So I'm just ready for the footy to kick off and the game to start. What about you, JD?
It's a very interesting draft league that you're listening in. It sounds like some easy money, to be honest. But enjoying listening along. My weekend was all right. Nothing,
his mates.
Yeah. Nothing too much happened apart from a lot of footy, obviously, with round zero, which is good to have some of that back. Ready for the real thing to start this week, of course.
Bit of identity theft, JD, with the thumbnail. Can you talk us through that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was having a shot at you. That was on purpose. There was a joke copying your, I don't know, whatever this was.
Because you created that as well, George. You're the first to do it.
Yeah. George's the original.
Right.
No imitations off anyone. It was just a piss take.
Thanks for going back to that money first. You just keep stealing stuff then. But also Bolter, of course. We'll get to more positive news. But you won the weekly for Bolter, JD. Another one for you don't get a hat, I suppose, but another award, which is good for you. So
don't get a hat.
Yeah, Bolter also.
Just get $1,000. It's so much worse than a hat that I will never wear. Yeah. It's a real shame. No, it's good. I guess I'm the only round zero winner of any competition, AFL competition. So that's pretty cool. I'm the one and only. It's nice. But it's been good, been fun to play. If you haven't got onto bolter.team, you definitely should check it out. There's obviously season-long competition going along, and supporting Selby's great. And if you play fantasy, covers over or carries over really well. So, nice to get the win for that. And I guess take my mantle as preseason hero and then fumble it when it comes to the real thing, which is what we're about to chat all about.
Yeah, so we'll go over some preseason news, and a few things have happened in round zero and in the past few weeks. So I'll read out the big ones, and feel free to chime in when you like. But as we know, a bit of a disaster on the Brisbane Carlton game. Doherty and Kitty doing their ACLs. So what that means, maybe a Jack Carroll comes in, plays a full game for Doherty, but is he going to be a sub in the future? We're not sure. And then Kitty, obviously, they're going to have, maybe they threw someone else at halfback. Well, that'll be a watch to see what they do there. Your mate, and Shrek, 6 to 8. I think it was Tom Morris on Channel 9 reporting for Big Darcy.
Yeah.
That is...
It's not officially on the Free website, which I've been waiting to see, because they said, I think, in the coming days, and that was almost a week ago. So I'm sure that'll come out tomorrow, right? Tuesdays, all the proper injury news, new updates. So we'll see. But Tom Morris is pretty spot on with most of his stuff. We know what happened with him, but as far as journalism goes, I don't think he gets too much wrong. So, Jackson.
We'll discuss Jackson coming up because that is causing some headaches. Laird was on Channel 9 News in Adelaide today, and he said that he might spend a bit of time forward so the next-gen mids can pinch hit there, which says to me that he has no interest in giving up his midfield spot, but he kind of has to a little bit. I don't think anyone's picking Laird given that news anyway. Zach Williams is as fit as he's ever been, according to Michael Voss. So I think just about all of us have him, or if not, everyone has him at the 4 or 5. Jake Sinclair's out for round 1. That will continue, so that should help Riley Bonner. Maybe be careful of Ari Schoenmaker if he is out for Sinclair, because around round 2, round 3 is when Sinclair's projected to come back. Zach Butters is good to go for round 1. Any concerns with the ankle roll with you boys for Butters, or he says he's fine? Just gonna happy to pick him still.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, they cleared him a few days ago, right? Like, it's all officially out now, but I think Ken said it a few days ago, and I think they said he would have played that game out and probably been fine if it was a real game, but they just know how important he is, so they just took him off, which is more than fair enough. It's probably what Freo should have done with Shrek when they found out that his knee was no good the week before, but they said, nah, let's roll him out in this pracky and see what happened. So, yeah, I'm pretty confident with Butters.
Yeah, no, I've got no concerns, really.
Yep. Isaac Heaney, a favourite FTTV. First full preseason in 10 years. First full preseason in 10 years, apparently. I swear he had one a few years ago. But regardless, looking fully fit. And Horst did say that his role may change from game to game. So something to be aware of.
Now, George, do you remember, like early in the preseason, I pitched a segment called like Sell Me a Sin, where we would like pick a player that should be on like a never again list, and I'd pitch them to you, like, you should pick this player, especially with this like hellscape of a forward line. And Heaney was the example I threw out, and you're like, no, there's no way we can do this. Like, Heaney's not coming into my team. He's not coming into my forward line. It's just fun to be here 2 months later, seeing you be prepared to get hurt again. I'm all here for it, and look, I'm hoping he doesn't hurt you, but I'm ready for the inevitable.
So you don't have Heaney?
Oh, I've got Heaney, but it's going to hurt you worse than it hurts me. I've never been burnt by the man before.
Well, hopefully we'll. No, I believe this time he'll be right. Sam Walsh is listed as indefinite still. So I think they've sort of said like maybe 2 or 3 weeks, but look, we'll get a look at the injury list when it updates on the Tuesday. But yeah, indefinite still. Heath Chapman's returned from, I believe, Qatar and should be 2 weeks away. What that means for Sharp could be an interesting one. Gary Rowan has, I think he's redone his hammy or something, but he's about a month away. So that could help Dempsey, but they still have Ollie Henry to come back. So something to keep an eye on. Finn Callahan is a week away, so could play round 1 or 2, we suspect. Isaac Cumming should be 2 weeks away, so that might tie into job security for Jacob Ware. Dylan Moore is a test, so
yeah, I'm not going to ask you to take him in this draft. Is he like? I know it's glandular, but is he? If he's a test, that means he may not play this week, but he might not be far away.
Yeah,
I think I'll take him at some point because he's sitting there.
Some people get over it quick. Some people, like myself, take months and months to get rid of. So I know Heaney had it. He was out for. He had it for like a full preseason. Like he had it, so he was half a year. So
yeah, quick
different case.
DM Dilmore and ask what his gut bacteria is like. Is he robust enough to take in the draft?
I think it's like your glands here are all like stuffed. So I don't know if it's a gut thing, but I'm sure it's all related somehow. But we won't get into that. Jai Simpkin is Jai Simpkin 1 week away. So obviously you got Lazaro, Powell. Powell's not probably doesn't seem relevant, but Lazaro is there. Does that change anything for him or his role? Nane Curvis is supposed to be 1 to 2 weeks away. It sounds like he thinks he can play. Well, that's what he says, but whether he does or not remains to be seen. So Naismith is there. Do we take him if he doesn't play? It's another story. Ruben Ginby's back from, and last one, Ginby's back from concussion. As we remember last year, Ginby went to Tom Green and I think limited him to 100 Supercoach, which is still fine. So just worth noting there. That is the news. And we can start talking Supercoach now that the news out of the way, or the game itself. Round 0. It changed a lot for me. I think people out there like, oh, my pod is ruined, blah, blah, blah. But or Antipod is ruined. Like a Gordon at 40%, I dare say that's going to plummet to 0% among competitive players, unless someone still likes him, which is fine. But yeah, it was very interesting, and for me, it helped me. I'll go to you, JD. Did you find round zero, benefited you, and do you have any main takeouts or main changes that you made to your team?
Yeah, so I think obviously watching real games helped me update and pick some different players, and I definitely made some changes off the back of it. But overall, I felt like it hurt me more than it helped, in the sense that some of these popular players that people were on, such as Goulden, gave a pretty good off ramp for people to get off, and yeah, that is pretty annoying, because I think some of those players that would have been quite poor picks for some people ended up giving signs that you can get off or getting on. Like, for example, a lot of people jumped off Zach Williams, but I was always going to pick him as long as he was named. And like, now you've got people jumping back on. So there's just Windsor, I didn't like as a pick, didn't have on my side. I think he kind of proved that as well. Like, there's just stuff like that's annoying. So obviously, like Howes wasn't on my radar seriously. So picking him up and stuff is good. Making sure Grundy's in my side, that's good. But overall, I think it probably hurt me from comparing to other coaches than helped, even though obviously I made my team better off the back of it.
And you, Benno?
I mean, I think I'll just say with that the points JD's making is like, we still don't know, right? Like, we think maybe it's helped you or the other way.
So if you'd assume that those games were the round one games, there's no round zero, right? Like, and you'd started Goulden, then you started at 70. Yeah.
Unless he goes 140 for the next 4. So
exactly. Sure.
I don't know. It might have hurt me or it might have helped me, but I think I'm just even more confused overall. So like, trying to find the right structure. Obviously, we got to wait for teams and whatnot. Rookies, is just a lot of rookies. Like, I don't know if I'm missing any or don't know. I've seen people toying with not starting McKercher or Reed, and it's like, if it was any other year, we don't have a big rookie crop, we'd just be starting them and not thinking about it too much. But like, the fact we have to think about it because there's so much value and all that, I don't know. So time will tell, I think, on the point of if it's helped me or hurt me as far as actually picking the right players or not. But it's confused me, put it that way.
Yeah. Look, I'm not going to lie, it helped me. I was flicking up, like, I don't know if I would have landed on Gordon. I had English and Grundy in and out. Guess I would have gone one or the other with Gordon or Grundy. And I think Jack Billings, I was a little shocked he was sub. Maybe he's not as good as I thought he was, but going off past starter, you would have thought he could have gone in the 80s somewhere. But as better options pop up, we have more alternatives now. So, yeah, not going to lie, I benefited from round zero. I still hated round zero in terms of
just footy.
Something to buy players, and
more than half the teams.
Mike called me to say, "Oh, when are the Crows playing this week?" Like, sorry, like they're not playing this week, but that was a bit annoying. But yeah, regardless, round zero is done, and now we move on to the Supercoach stuff. So let's talk structure. So structures are formed well and truly now, and the structures look quite balanced at the moment. We've seen there are now forward premiums. We thought, okay, it's Flanders and nobody else. All of a sudden, Luke Jackson and our beloved Isaac are looking okay now. Defenders, like, there's a few you can pick from. It's not as deep as the midfield pool. And then midfielders, you can go as deep as you like. There's heaps of cash to be made in the midfield. Even defender rookies, there's a few good ones, just how many you want to field. Do you want to run through your structure? Like, how many premiums in each line you're running?
Off the top of my head, because I'm looking at the draft right now, it's flipping between 2. So I think for so long, like we all know, we've been in the Discord and doing it ourselves. 4 defenders was pretty rock solid, I would have thought, for most people. I've seen a few now with like the Jackson and Heaney, playing well, and Flanders playing well. Like maybe some are dropping one of them for a forward. But it just still comes down to the midfield. I think that's like the crux of it. Like, I've seen people with 3 big mids. I've seen people with none. Like, I think that's the part of the ground where people are most having question marks. So hold on, I'm going to take a pic. Riley O'Brien in the ruck, still sitting there because everyone has a ruck. So I think right now I've got, well, I just put a video up today with 4 defenders still, and then it's 3 big mids with a couple value mids, and then obviously your 2 rucks, and it was 2 forwards. 1 forward. But then the Jackson news came out. Like every video, the team reveal videos I've put out the last 3 weeks have all been timed with some sort of news popping out.
Yeah.
You know, last week it was Shrek getting hurt, and I'm like, oh, Jack, and then again he's made his way out of my team, and then the news came in at 6 to 8, and now he's back in as of 2 hours after the video coming out. So I did drop a defender back down to 3, and then got Jackson into the forward line, and it's just a matter of, you know, switching the rookies and who's on field and, you know, midfield and stuff. So yeah, I think right now it's 3 defenders, 3 big mids, 2 value ones, 2 ruck, 2 forward. So if that makes any sense, that's sort of what it's right now, but can still change. JD, what's your thoughts? You're a bit of a structure studier.
Yeah,
what have you got now?
I mean, really the only change has been the addition of these premium forwards with Heaney and Jackson popping up alongside Flanders. So we had Fisher F1, a lot of us, and then batting either 6 deep in the mids or maybe even 5 deep in defense. And now that we've got an extra forward or 2, people have been kind of balancing up their side, so taking a little bit more value in the mids, taking a little bit more value in defense, especially with, you know, Williams playing last week, and then going like 2 to 3 forward premiums now, a mid price or a 2, and then some rookies to finish it off. And I think that's probably where the big decision's been. And then just around how many of those value mids you want versus paying up for some of the more expensive premium types. That's probably been I'd say the crux of where the conversation's been.
George?
Yeah, nice. I'm running I think in the video I had 4, but I'm down to 3 premium defenders, 5 deep in the mids, including a Wines and a Nick Martin, 2 premium rucks, and I think I've got 2 premium forwards.
Including
like
Fisher?
That. Not including Fisher. Say 3 Fisher's premium. So
I think we're kind
probably
of
one short
Fisher in the hope that he survives and stays a premium.
You just think back to Aaron Hall, what he could do in that role. So, yeah, if it goes wrong, he should make cash in the meantime. So, its structure's been difficult because, you want all these value forwards, I guess, these value mids, and then you got these fair price to overpriced defenders, apart from like a Hayden Young or Sheasel, you can say he's underpriced if you want, I'm not sure, but finding the balance is quite
Elliot Yeo,
a challenge. If you like that, then that too. Look, he looks fit, but there's just a lot of good options at the moment, and I don't know if you want to take that injury risk, but it's up to the player, I guess. So
I will say the hardest thing now with Jackson and Heaney popping up is I find that no matter how I build my team, I'm still missing 1 to 2 of the value guys I'd like to get in. So like current iteration, I don't have Fife anymore. And like, it's just stuff like that where I'm like, I feel like it's kind of nice that we're blessed with enough options to fill out a team of like really good value. But I just feel like I'm always missing 1 or 2 of them at the moment, which is annoying.
Even the rookies, there's so many good rookies, and how do you fit them all in? We're going to miss some good cash generators, and is what it is. You just hope you get the right ones that match the ones or go more than the ones you miss.
I do think that's where you've got to be a little bit strategic with picking guys that maybe have already played a game, because you can get a 1 price rise out of them and then correct them to someone that hasn't had a price rise, which is nice. I've definitely done that, So like there's a few like, Sexton, Cadman, Roberts, Gibkiss, Howes, all fit in that category of guys that you can get a price rise out of and then correct to. Yeah, Campbell as well. Yep.
So that's sort of, we can talk about that. That's what I'm sort of looking at. Like, part of me thinks maybe we should just pick the best rookies so we don't have to use any trades, but you can get that early cash injection from a Cadman or a Camp, those are the names you said, and correct them to rookies while getting some cash in the bank. So if that's where you want to use your trades, I think that's something you could look at. Obviously, that'll be round 3, which is like the key round for corrections. So we might have other stuff going on then, but you can get a good look at like a Huss Wade if you don't have him, or Jack Carroll would probably be the prime example, and see how we go. So I think we can move on to talking about the individual players and our preferred players in each line. I dare say probably differ between the three of us a little bit here in different lines, but I think defense, the pool of defenders seems a little bit smaller than the mids. I guess it depends who you like, but I'm going to read out these names, and they are Dacos, Stewart, Sicily, Ryan, Houston, Sheasel, Short, Young, and Whitfield. Are there, if you could pick your first four that you'd like, and maybe talk about one of them, who would they be? If you've got the run sheet in front of you, because I know you're doing the draft, I know, but I don't know, say pick your four preferred and speak about one.
To like start, or just because I think they'll score the most for the year?
Yeah, buys accounted for, or do you want to just
buys accounted for.
like an actual starting pick? Yeah.
All right,
Don't
so
have to be
knock Short and Whitfield off the list for me straight away, unfortunately. And it leaves, I think, Dacos, Stewart, Sheasel, and Young as my four preferred, considering, buys, price, upside.
All the above. Yeah. I mean, I have Houston in there as well. He's been in and out of my team a lot in the last few weeks. I just think he's in his prime. He's sort of finally, they threw him around a bit of midfield like 2020 or 21 on when it was, and we picked him. And last couple of years, he's played in the same role. He's got continuity. As I said, he's in his prime, like 26. I know his scoring can be, like he does have a low floor at times. Doesn't have kick-ins, which is probably the downside to him compared to the rest of them. So, Young and Dacos don't play in defense anymore. But, yeah, so I'd have him as, like, in there. Would I have him over anyone else? I mean, I could honestly see him out. I mean, he did, like, average 106. So Hayden Young, he could out-average, I think. It's possible. It's his first sort of full season in the midfield, preseason and whatnot. But yeah, I'll just add Houston to that group, and then they'd be the five that I'd be comfortable starting.
Out of curiosity, JD, would you be comfortable starting Dan Houston?
I don't really have any interest in him other than the buy. Like, was one or two of his down games due to stingers last year, or was that in 2022?
The year before that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't have a good read on him. I don't understand really what his role is for a lot of the games. Just one player I've never watched enough of to actually understand what's going on. And I just don't really like picking players like that. So I'm confident enough in the others that I've got no interest in Dan.
Yeah,
I get it. You know what you're getting with like Stewart if you want to pick him over him. So I do get it.
Yeah, I know what role I'm looking for with Young and Sheasel and what I'm looking for in the data. I can't tell you what I'm looking for with Houston.
Yep. Yeah, no, it makes sense.
I'm the same boat. So maybe void my whatever I've got to say on Houston. I look at the numbers. I look at the low floor. Didn't really want him last year when he bottomed out. It was a good pick if you got him at the right price. But I just don't trust him. Like West Coast first up, he didn't score well on West Coast last year. Is that a reliable indicator? I don't know. But I don't think I'll be able to handle the floor games. And I'd rather pick him up if he gets cheaper and has these floor games. But I understand the nice fixture they have in terms of the home games. We averaged, 114 or something in home games. So, I'll be passing on that. And even Stewart, I doubt he regresses, but 31 years old, always regression risk and injury risk increases a little bit. So, I like Stewart and I want him in the team at some point, but am I confident enough to pay $630 for him at 31? I think it's okay, but I'm kind of getting a little bit cold on it and want to pick someone younger in another line where there's more value. So I'd have Stewart as the 4. So 1, Dacos, 2, Young, 3, Sheasel, who I'm not even super confident in, and then 4, the more expensive Tom Stewart for me. That is the defenders, premiums. Hopefully that was helpful. Defender mid prices, there's not really much there. I guess Williams is my mid pricer.
Yo, come on.
Yes, there's Yo and Butterick. Yo and Butterick
everywhere. Yeah. I like Yo a lot. I know I'm Islander 1 right now, but I like Yo a lot.
I think he's in my fantasy team. I don't know if that's a good idea though, because he's probably more super coach player.
No, he's even cheaper in
tackles.
fantasy, which makes it a bit of a better pick.
I don't mind him, but it was just what happened last time. But if he's fit and picked round 1 and some laid out doesn't happen, then yeah, if you're willing to take that risk, I think it's fine.
I mean,
playing full-time mid.
I've said this before, but I think Yo played the last 4 games of last year after coming off injury, came back early in the preseason, had a mini preseason pre-Christmas, then did the full preseason. Then he's played out both the preseason games in full length. Hasn't been managed or anything like that. Like he's literally not had a setback since August or something last year. That's a very long time to go without having injury, which makes me think that like the chance that he gets through the first half of the year should be all right. Like it should be pretty good. So at his price, I like the upside. He's priced at 80. I think he does at least 95, maybe even up to 105 optimistically. Get some good cash out of him, trade him into someone else at some point if I need to. But I also understand people, especially in Supercoach, don't want to take that risk.
Yeah. I think it's just the risk reward for the price is not there for me. And then there's Butterick. I think this is going to be an okay pick. Put him in sports decks, a bit cheaper there, but he looks good. And he got more kick-ins than the practice game. I think he got a larger share, almost like 30-40% or something. Whereas I think it was
it was Powell 3, Butterick 2, Sexton 1. So
yeah, okay, it's not the greatest sample.
It's like a third, but yeah, they didn't have that many. Yeah,
so I think that's interesting. See if Erland's like they need a lockdown. You don't want Butterick switching roles, but 300k is a bit steep. But I think he does 85 to 90. I reckon 80, somewhere in between there. So I don't think it's a terrible pick, but I guess there's just too many good options around. All right, let's talk midfield. We can probably talk about defender rookies actually while we're here. So we'll go through all the lines. So the rookies I have listed here are Burgoyne, Gibcus, Zach Reed, Caulfield, Pink, Oscar McDonald, Charlie Dean, and Ethan Phillips.
Ari Schoenmaker?
Yes, him too.
All right.
I've probably forgotten someone, but I can go first here.
I mean, Dan Curtin, there's a chance Muddy Hoare comes back, but we're starting to get into like increasingly relevant players. You covered off Pink, right?
I think I said Pink.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, where did you want to go with these defender rookies?
Well, I think Gibcus and Reed have the best.
I think the question is good, George, that we're all starting 3, and I think I know who they are. But if people are doing the defender to forward, swapping the structure, what would be
I forgot Howes. Oh my god.
I thought you said Howes. I was listening out for it.
He might have said him, but he hasn't typed. Like, I think most people are picking what, Gibby.
Oh, and you said Caulfield, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's there.
Okay, good.
So
like if we're going from 3
Howes,
rookies to 4, George, who would you pick? Like Caulfield or... Because I think most people have the same 3.
I think I'm taking the money with Phillips.
Yeah.
I asked Bulldog supporters in our Discord. We've asked them, and they're not sure on Caulfield's job security. He's been their best ones team for like basically all the preseason. I know they got Dale. It probably doesn't affect Dale. He probably has not much to do with it, but I don't have the greatest read on this job security, put it that way. And then Ethan Phillips, I think he has to play because he's the one that can take the big guys, and we've seen Frost get killed by them in the past. So Phillips takes a few marks as well. Took like 6 marks in his practice game. So I think I'm taking Phillips as my 4th, and then Howes, Reed, and Gibcus ahead. What are you taking?
Probably still Cough, JD, at this point, if I'm doing that structure. I think, if he's picked and playing round 1, I'll take the chance. Not that I'm super confident on his job security, but I think the scoring, if I'm getting to the 4th rookie on the line, I'm happy to take one that might have highest scoring upside. If he stays in the team, gets a preferable role. Not that we know, and that he plays for Bevo. We all know that, but yeah, probably take him over another key. The fourth key defender rookie or tall defender rookie in my team. I think.
Yeah, I'd go Caulfield, I think. Also, just because having the extra paid up rookie is probably useful. Like if Phillips ends up being no good, getting out of him can be kind of hard. So I don't think there's really any other 1 or 2K options back there. So I'd probably go Caulfield, and that means you can go to Pink or someone like that as well if you're going the fourth. The other option is with Bowie out for 8 weeks with that broken collarbone. There's a chance that Hoare might be named if they want to replace him with another defender. And I think that's interesting. Like, would you take Hoare over Caulfield or Phillips?
No idea. I think I would take... Hoare should be better than them. I don't know. I think I'd take Phillips for the money.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, those are the defender rookies. If you couldn't fit in Gibcus, would you be happy to save 50 or 30K going down to Gibcus if you really needed it? Or do you really want to start him?
I want to
I
start
think
him.
Gibby's going to be decent. There could be a big spike game at some point.
Wait, what was he score? Like 76 or something?
70 something, yeah.
Yeah.
And they got like thrashed, and he didn't really get to peel off an intercept. He was just spoiling. And he's shown that he can make enough money before, and he's 2 years more mature than that, and he's got a bigger role in that defense. To me, it just feels like he is so obviously going to hit 300K plus at some point. And he's got it. He's doing that earlier than others. So if we're going to try and get upgrade cadence going early, I can't get away from him. If he'd put in a poor score, like a 30 or something, maybe I can see why. But I'm in on Gibcus.
Who's your third tall? Because you played Grimes, Gibcus, and
apparently Bolter, according to some of was it Strag group?
Oh yeah, Strag, the Tigers fan, probably didn't even watch the game.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about Richmond right now, but Grimes still looking at him in a jersey in 2024 isn't great. So I don't really know what else they can do.
Washed, man.
He's been washed for ages.
Who's the third tall? Do we know?
Well, Tim /Broad I don't know. Like Gibby was one of the main two. That's if that's what you're asking. Like he was
playing on King, I think. You started on him at least.
Yeah. So
okay.
I don't know if it's going to be amazing, but it might change. So I don't know for sure. But I'm confident fielding him over most like the others. I think.
Okay.
Except for maybe Howe. I mean, we saw Howe score 90, so it's probably just recency bias, but we'll see.
I think all of Gibcus, Reed, and Howes have decent scoring on any given week.
Like Reed and his
picking the matchup.
So it'd just be fluky, I think, anyway. We'll just have to accept it.
Going to lose a lot of rookie roulette this year. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's move on to the midfielders and the big dogs. So these are the 600K plus guys. I don't think anyone's considering the above Tuke's price, maybe a Matt Rao, if you like that. But these names are Bontempelli, Petrarca, Merritt, Libert, Dawson, LDU, Butters, Green, Sarong, Gordon, and Rosie. I'll start. So my top four in order: 1, Marcus; 2, Butters; 3, Dawson; and then with the bye 4, Tom Green. You know what? I'm going to put Merritt over Tom Green because of the bye.
Yeah, okay.
Bont, Butters, Dawson, Merritt are my top 4. Although Merritt could cop it in round 1. So if Finn McGuinness is named, then swap Green for Merritt.
This is hard, like with the buys and whatnot. Do we just
there's only
completely disregard them? There. Just completely disregard them, or you go, JD. Oh, you go.
Butters, LDU, and Bont are the only 3 from that list that have touched my team this preseason. If I wanted to put in a buy player, it would be Green. If I wanted to put in another buy player, a non-buy player, maybe it's Dawson or Rosie, but I wouldn't touch any of these others. I'd rather go to the discounted players.
Yeah, non-buy, obviously Bont. We put number 1. Butter's probably number 2. And honestly, with the early fixture, if you wanted to just say starting pick and who's going to go well to start, like Rosie as well as Butters, honestly. But I'd probably still go Dawson, a bit more runs on the board. Merritt's got a bit more runs on the board, so I'd probably still have those 2 above Rosie. I mean, we're spoilt for choice as a whole, like the whole group, but because so many have the buy, probably half of them, it just turns you like. What do you think Tom Green's ownership would be if he didn't have a buy? It'd be 50%.
50, yeah.
Yeah, 40% plus easy,
Yeah. I mean, I've got him in my team, and he has the buy just because I don't have Flanders, so it's a bit different. If you did, I wouldn't want both of them. So I just think it's his time. He's 23, turning 24 soon. Built like a brick shit house for like he always has been since he was.
They're going to smash a lot of teams.
Yeah, they're going to smash a lot of teams, especially early. So yeah, look, he has the buy, but I'm still happy to start him and just not worry about him for the rest of the year.
So
should we say like any is totally turned off? Like just don't want to touch, haven't looked at. Does any of these guys fit that bracket?
You know what I'm like with durability risk. So Liver I'm never touching.
Yeah.
My team is starting picks. Point scoring, points is not the issue here. It's we have durable alternatives that can score roughly in line with them. So I'd rather go that route.
Yeah.
Obviously, Parrish, forgot to mention he's injured at the moment. Looks like he's going to miss round 1 with some have said ankle, some have said hamstring. We're not sure, but yeah, don't have much else to add there. Just those 2. I guess Gordon, you can't go near. Good slap in the face, wake up call watching him.
I mean,
on the weekend,
his ownership's stuck at 40%. Obviously, that's not correct. I'd be curious to see what it is when it finally fixes tomorrow. And 20% probably took him out, I'd guess. And there's still every chance he goes well to start the year. But I think, like when me and Jody were watching the game, the point of him not succeeding as well, especially first half, they didn't get their hands on the ball inside Sydney. They stayed in the game, but Gordon wasn't able to get into it because no one was in there winning it. Besides, like Heaney really had no support. So second half, he scored more. They got on top a bit, and then
he was matching
Gordon
up on
came into it. Yeah,
Viney and Oliver and stuff at stoppages, and they're like twice the size of him.
These should have been up by a lot, but obviously they're stumped them. But yeah, I do get that. But then they're not playing Melbourne for the next few weeks. They're playing Collingwood this week, but maybe that's not Collingwood's strong suit. It's more his transition. I think he put 160 on him last year. Took like 15 marks on the wing at the G, which is where they play this week. So, look, as I said at the start of the pod, there's every chance Gordon still pops off, and all the guys like me have taken him out and probably won't put him back in. I just hope he doesn't. I hope he does go shit. So I don't have to watch that.
I think round 13 will be the first time I think about getting him in.
I mean, there's a fair chance you go other mids and you just don't end up with him. But if he gets cheap enough, obviously we'll think about it. If he's in the 500s, 550, something like that, you probably look at him. But yeah, anyway, there'll be plenty more years to come to own someone like him. He's only 21, so
yeah. And are we happy to take, say, 3 of these guys, or do you think that's too many?
3's my limit. I wouldn't go.
I think that's the max. Yeah.
I currently have
we've been looking at 3's pushing it.
It could be. You're right. There's a lot of value, and maybe someone really stands out, scores so well that you have to pick them. And if you got to buy a player like Green, you make the swap, as hard as that would be, and as wrong that is, as a super coach move. But I'll get to that if it happens. It just does. I've seen teams with Took M1, just going complete values, going a few defenders, a few premium forwards, Gaundy, and then probably 5, maybe even 6 value mids, and none of them being 600k plus, which is crazy to think. It might be going a bit over the top that way towards value, but who knows? It's a very different season, as they mostly are to each other. But with all this, buy stuff, round zero stuff, a lot of value. It's who knows? It'll be interesting to see how it happens. And if opening round sticks around, boys, as for years to come, then I guess we'll have to take some learnings from it. Which I kind of hope not.
Better not.
It probably will.
Get your pitchforks out. Okay, so discounted mids. That's what I've called this bracket. They are Took, Steele, Crouch, Martin, Amon, Wines, and I guess we can throw in Rao as well.
I think a couple have put up Hewitt, which it's fair enough if Walsh is out for the whole year, which we don't know, and probably I'd back that kid to get back healthy, or at least fit enough to play. So, but he's there. He's 440. He's going to get a lot of mid time, and he averaged like 110 2 years ago. So,
he looks back to his best.
Yeah. Should we split these
Rowell
up
is
further?
570. I guess like he's not really premium, but like I don't know. I feel
he's probably in the bracket with Took and Steele, and then
well, like Crouch and Steele are 40k apart, so it's like
another 40k, so that's 80k. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, isn't Rosie and Rao like 30k apart?
You play this game until we get up to Bond.
Yeah. Excellent prep on our behalf. We probably should have sorted this out beforehand. All right, just include Rao in there, whatever. I don't care. Anyone interested in Rao? No? All right, great. Move on.
Okay. Well, since we're here and got these names in front of us, we can order them. Anno, do you want to go first? Or who's your 4 preferred?
I'll go with 3 or 4 preferred. I mean, I think including value, including opening, Ollie Wines is probably my number 1, as much as it hurts to say. I never thought I'd be saying something like that.
Shocked to be here.
Look, no buy Took, number 1, I think pretty clearly. He's done it a couple of years in a row and done it big, like obviously 2 115, 120 averaging seasons. Had a just down year, injury-riddled year, that knee. Captained him for it. And he came back late in the year, and Stewie Jew just had him playing like run with roles or like defensive midfield roles that, didn't see him get the ball much. And thus he's at this price. So he'd probably be number 1 if it wasn't for the buy. But I've got Wines, 460k, good value, good opening fixtures. Probably have Steele next, just ahead of Crouch because, again, a bit younger, done it more recently. Got some things fixed up in his off season. He's the number 1 mid there. Like, you know what you're going to get from Steele as far as role. Whereas Crouch, a bit different, a bit down the pecking order, a bit lower time on ground, stuff like that. So they're probably the top. I mean, with the defender ones in here, like I'd probably throw Nico in there as well, but it is a bit different. Like if you're going to take into account, then he's probably ahead of Wines. Like he probably is close to number 1 of this list because he's got the defender, potential to be a whole season keeper. So as I'm talking myself through it, let's probably go Nico 1, Wines 2, Steele 3, Crouch 4. And then as I said with Took, it's a bit hard to put him in there because I just don't want another buy player from that round. So that's where I've got to in the end after looking at the list for a couple minutes.
I'm the same.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Exact same. And Crouch, I guess 4th, Took 5th because of the buy. I think Took 2nd.
Yeah.
With no buy.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
For me, Martin 1, Wines 2, then a bit of a break. Probably Crouch 3, Amon 4, Steele 5, something like that.
Interesting. How many of these players do you have in your team?
3, I think. I've got Crouch at the moment. If I had the money, I'm not sure if I'd go Steele over him, which I think is the interesting one. Yeah, like Steele's obviously had 3 110 plus seasons, but it's been a couple of years. He's been quite injury prone. Crouch hasn't been injury prone. He just hasn't been in their best 22, but he was their number one CBA mid while he was on the ground for the match sims, and they are a high stoppage team. I get there's some concern, especially from you, George, over his time on ground and whether it gets above 75%, which is low. A lot of the top mids would look at a 85% plus type range. So
It won't be above 75.
Yeah, that's a concern. But I think like even at 75%, he can do 105 to 110 in a very high stoppage side. Like I don't see why he wouldn't be able to do that. And it looks like they don't have any interest in moving him forward or to another position. It's Laird or Dawson that are accommodating Crouch.
Yep, seems like Laird.
Is there any
Like-
chance he could ever lose his spot again, George? Like,
Totally.
obviously, it's such a hypothetical. Yeah, Crouch. Like if he's playing poorly, that's
Yeah.
probably why it would happen. But that's
Oh,
impossible
yeah, if he's
question to
playing
answer.
poorly, but
Yeah,
he won't.
exactly.
He'll
So
kill
it's
this
probably
year.
it's a dumb. Okay.
Crows get off to a poor start. Like
Yeah,
that's totally
some people-
possible.
Yeah.
But I think their fixture is pretty soft to open, right? Gold Coast, which should be tougher based on what we saw. Then Geelong, which looks like an easy kill, and Freo, very unconvincing. So they could reasonably start 3-0.
It would just help another player on your team a little bit, George, I think, if that happened.
Yeah. Lock. All right. For midfield, are there any mid prices?
Like
I
even
guess
lower than
that's
that.
all. But in terms of like the 200
Oh.
to 300 bracket,
So Wardlaw is
300,
probably a
400.
no. Thompson Dow ruled himself out. Sheldrick would need to get a
No.
spot, which we didn't see. And then it's Bonner.
yeah. Bonner's all right. I think he does 85.
Yeah. I think in other years I'd probably be picking Bonner, but we've got enough of the rookies and enough of these 400k guys that are interesting that I'm probably not picking someone in Bonner's price range this year.
Yep. And then the mid rookies are a little tough this year. McKercher, Sanders, Huswaite, Roberts, Carroll, Sharp, Jai Clark, and Jacob Ware. Let me know if I'm missing anyone there. I think if I had to rank them, I think Roberto's number 1. And then 2 for me, Sanders. 3, Jai Clark. 4, McKercher.
Okay.
And then if I had to pick another one, Huswaite. That's
Yeah.
5 for you.
Yep. I think they're the top 5 mid rookies, and everyone should have all of those pretty much.
Do we have to have Huswaite? His
Depends
VFL
on
numbers are
what you
66
believe.
average in the AFL fantasy.
Yeah, I
We
saw
got Day
on.
coming back, and
I think it was like 72 Supercoach. So I've got him
And-
out of my team at the minute.
But so what did he put up against the Dogs? He had 68 fantasy, so in line with his average, and that translated to 84 Supercoach because he had something like 10 contested possessions and would have had the most behind Newcomb and maybe Nash, I'm guessing. And I think that's what you expected. He was very good on the inside. I don't think he's necessarily going to stuff the stat sheet like some of these others might. But he's contested inside player, and as long as he has that role, he should put up, I think, 70s and 80s, which is more than enough at his price.
his tog was 73. And does he hold that role? I don't know.
Yeah. I think the role is the biggest question. And if after round 1 we see him not getting CBAs, I'd be concerned. But I'm hoping someone like Josh Ward gets dropped, who I have not been impressed by. I'm perennial Josh Ward hater. He took a lot of CBAs, I think, in some of these games, and I just don't think he should be getting them. So if he goes out for like a Moore or someone like that coming back, they've also got to fit Weddle in that side as well. Then I think why wouldn't Huswaite be getting big CBA numbers alongside Newcomb and Nash?
Yeah, I have the same 5. I'm not going to probably sit here and try and rank him. You say Roberts was 1, though, George, when you said it?
Yep.
No Sanders? I just think easier role, probably higher floor. What would you peg him at? Like 80, 85 Roberts, 80 Sanders, something like that? Pretty close?
85 each.
Yeah,
I'd have Sanders above. I still think his job
think I
security
would,
is better.
but
yeah.
it is a harder role, especially as a
I
first-year
would not
player.
be giving up Roberts at all.
The-
I guess
The
you
Dogs'
can't give up either.
fixture is very easy for midfielders through like the first, I don't know, however many games. It is not tough.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking there's no CBAs for Sanders at the moment with McRae still to come in. Who knows what happens there? Which is like he can still score.
Right. Sanders is better than these guys. He's better than Harms. He's better than McRae. He's getting those CBAs.
Yeah, I know. But he's still not getting CBAs, and McRae's still got to come in. So,
like Roberts for me is kind of the bigger concern because, like, it's a weird one, right? Like he got half their kick-ins, which is crazy. So you have to have them anyway. But if so you got Lloyd playing on a wing. If they're inside mids return or they decide to start playing something like Sheldrick, does Goulden get pushed out to wing? Does that push Lloyd back to half back? Does that ruin Roberts? Or like put him in doubt to be selected for the side? I think he's done enough to keep getting selected, but like something like that actually worries me, where I think Sanders is like obviously better than some of these other more mature dogs. And like you just play him 22 games in the midfield this year.
regardless, Sanders and Roberts on field for me. No questions.
Yeah.
So we'll just see how it plays out.
All right. So just
you guys
quickly then. No, well, McKercher's on my bench at the moment. I'm fielding Huswaite just because Huswaite's got the Dons and McKercher's got GWS that trounced over the Pies on the weekend. But I guess what I wanted to ask you, George, was like, if you've got like Sanders, Huswaite, Robert, McKercher, Clark, and you've got 3 of these on field, that means you're missing kind of one bench spot. So are you fielding like a forward option like a Lazaro or a Wilson in there, or have you got like a sixth defender, sixth mid that you're putting in like Carroll or Sharp?
Well, I'm fielding the extra defender in Gibcus.
Oh, you're fielding 2 defenders?
Yeah.
And then only 2 midfield rookies?
So Reed, Sexton at the moment, I've got Flanders, Heaney, Fisher, Jordan, Reed, Sexton, and Jackson's the issue at the moment. We're working through that one.
What's the midfield? Oh, Berry M6. So 2 rookies on field and then the other 3 on the bench.
McKercher on the bench.
Berry, Heaney. Oh my gosh. The train has left the station and we just get to sit there and watch it crash into the side of a hill, go up in flames. It is going to be fun. I'd pretend that I can't look away, but
JD before it hits the ground.
Oh, I mean, I'm not Berry. I'm just, I'll sacrifice a Heaney to get the rest of the wreckage.
We're in the trailer and just the trailer disconnects as George goes.
See, this is my parents' fault for giving me a Tony Modric jersey when I was 5 years old. Anyway, so those are the rookies. I guess Ware is one people are looking at. I'm a bit worried with Isaac coming. Due to come back in 2 weeks, but he played all right, plays his role well. I think Sharp's completely off our radar with Chapman coming back, and he didn't look good at all. Also,
and he copped a knock in the 2s on the weekend.
Yeah, and then Jai Clark looks pretty good, and he almost has to play with the Guthrie out.
Yep.
And Carroll, for me, is wait and see with what happens when Elijah Hollins and Walsh come back in.
Yep. I mean, and it sounds like those guys return round 3 after their bye. So you wait until team sheets then, I think. Also, like whether or not Carroll not being sub now continues to get CBAs, I'm interested in seeing in another game as well.
Yeah, it's like I wish I had a stronger read on what's going to happen. So it's going to let it play out. He'll have the later price rise. So that is that.
Do we want to talk Berry and Bonner? We did forget that. I forgot about that bracket. But
we don't really need to speak about Berry.
One you could more talk about.
We spoke about Bonner. I just said 85.
Sorry, I missed it. Yeah, okay, cool. Move on.
Okay. Oh, Lyons. We missed Jared Lyons. I knew that was Jared Lyons.
Yeah. It's a weird one because he played super well. No one really saw it coming. I think every Lions fan thought he was 100% going to be the sub. Then he played well.
George, you've done the biggest deep dive on, I think, Lions of the 3 of us. What have you found? Well, didn't you say that you were going through the Lions, big footy board for more Lions talk?
Oh, I just thought what they were saying was they think that it doesn't help team balance for like defensive or like in transition, he lags behind a bit, whereas Dev is a bit better at that. And I think Dev is a threat to his spot, who's a limited preseason, but I think it's supposed to be available. So do they run that? And I believe the coach said like it could be matchup based on what sort of midfield they run. For me, it still feels he's a sub risk. If this pick if he isn't a sub risk, then there's substantial points and money left on the table here. I think he's sub risk, but I'm not 100% sure.
We don't have long to figure that out. Another 100 this week has the buy. If he's picked round 3 and not the sub, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, we can get him in that round, leading into round 4, if we need to. I just think if he starts the sub and we're like locked into teams, we're in trouble.
It's just maybe how 250k are you getting?
I'm just going to let it play out because it could be a dud pick. It could be best pick of the year. Like it could go one of 2 ways. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then Berry, I guess I'll touch on Berry. I just like him as a player. I don't think he's going to get much CBAs. I think his ceiling's probably capped at 80. You don't need to pick him. You can give me grief when it goes badly. Don't worry about that. We can move on. Where are we? We up to Ruck line.
Oh yeah, we are Rucks first.
Interesting. So, or is it? Are we going on Grundy at the moment?
I'm probably the one that's not. I think a lot of people still are. I've just got Rowan there for now. Just the age thing. I mean, it's definitely overthinking it the way he looked in that second half.
No, over 30.
He just scored 180 the week before, albeit against TDK. And if you were to say most rucks in the league, I mean, they're not as skinny and as young as TDK, but most are more towards that skill level in the ruck than they are Grundy. Like Grundy looked back to his prime moving best that he was before he went to Melbourne. So I think Gaundy's fine. Like I might still end up that way if I need another 50k for rookie or whatnot. So it's just another buy player. Like I've chosen which buy players I'm happy with. Some others have come into the frame, so Gorn's made his way out, but it could punish very, very quickly. All you have to do is scroll back a few years to George's channel, and there's a video there with a lot of pain and hurt.
Yes, 180, 140, 180, pitching at 30. Good times.
And then you traded him for like 750 or something, and he proceeded to drop down to 600. Yeah.
So if you're not going with him, you fully know the risk. But he is not 28 anymore like he was then. He's 32. Yeah. So there's more merit to it now than there was back then. And he's like games played the last few years are not that high. So like they're high, but it's not close to a full season really. So anyway, I'm sure JD's still on the Gaundy train for now. And it's a line we can play by ear. You know, start with that. Go from there. They've got their buys. See what happens. And if you want to go, English will still be there falling down, hopefully. Maybe not after that West Coast game, but we'll see. So, yeah.
I'm not picking Gorn.
Oh, you're with me?
Yeah, English or Jackson.
Oh, not with me one way, but not the other. Not Rowan.
No. I like Rowan. He's good.
I'd like to do English. It's just more money out of the team elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's a bit hard.
It's got to sting other part of the ground.
All right, JD, you speak for the Gaundy crowd then, I think.
I'm just thinking, actually kind of interested in Jackson going in there because then I can break Gorn into 5 and then use the extra money to get Crouch up to Bond, I'm guessing. I need to play around with that. I'm kind of interested in that. So Gorn we still think can probably end up top 3 at his best for Rucks. I think the historic alternative option here would be Cherry, which I like Cherry. I think Cherry can go up around 100 range. So if going from Gorn to Cherry actually helps your team with the 180k, I'm okay with people doing that. I think just don't jump back on him if he has one big game Gorn. I don't know. It's going to happen. They're Rucks. They have spiky scores. And I could totally see him bouncing back this week against English after, I guess, some of the press and the poor effort from the Ds last week. And everyone goes it was just round 0 bait type thing. We know he's better than that. And I definitely think that's the case because his fantasy score was up around 90 still.
87.
Yeah, he just had the clangers and a few other things go his
Like
way, but
4 or 5 or 6 frees against, something like that.
yeah,
was that-
four
was that
frees
correct?
against 6 clangers, I want to say.
Yeah.
And he had
Anyway.
like some of his free kicks. The advantage was taken by players, so he should have got a probably better score than what he had. And even what last year we saw, like a 92 fantasy average led to a 104 or 105 Supercoach average. So that was about what he did last year, that ratio. So I think I'd just chalk this as chalk it up as a down game and think that there's probably better days ahead. But obviously him being that gassed or that worked over into the second half of that game, first game of the year, does raise a little bit of cause for concern. But he should be fine. I think one thing we also forget is that he has like a 0 priced into him from last year when he got concussed or injured really early on against Brisbane, was it? So like there's a bunch of value in there, and he still had some 70s and stuff in that and still wound up being 105 for the year. And there was obviously that stretch where he had like 200s, 170s as a solo ruck. So I think I just backed the numbers last year. He is, at the end of the day, I think he's a slightly discounted premium, and we tend not to overreact to premiums from just one game, one way or the other. I think the fantasy base is enough for me to believe that better scores are coming from Gone in the future. But I am interested in what I can do by freeing up his money. So I'm going to have a play with that.
For me, it's just durability. Looks sore second half.
He's just got the Lairds, mate. It's a bit hot, muggy night in Sydney.
Hot? You reckon it was that?
The comp started a week earlier. Like, it is still hot. We just had a weekend of 30s in Melbourne. Then high 30s, not just 30. So Max thrives on the G in a cold winter's night, doesn't he? That's when he does his work. But the weird thing was he took 1 mark. That was the most alarming thing, I think. That Sydney got into him around the ground. He didn't take more than 1 mark, was it, in a game? I'd love to look when the last time that's happened to Max Gawn. So outlier, probably. If you don't pick him, probably going to punish you pretty soon.
Oh, he went through a really bad stretch last year where he didn't mark. So round 15, he had 1 mark. Round 10, he had 0. Actually, round 10 was his lowest, I think, full score from last year, or second lowest full score from last year, where he only had a 74 Supercoach. And then obviously he had that round 2 game where he got injured, where he ended up with 0 as well. So he had a few bad games like that last year. But you're right, he was very fumbly last year with marks, so it's a bit weird that he didn't take that many. I wonder as well if the shorter forward line's hurting, because having to push forward probably more than would be ideal. Anyway, I don't know. Just quick question for you before we move off this topic. Crouch and Gawn or Bont and Fife?
Well, that's a good one. Bont Fife, probably.
Say Bont Fife, because I think that's an extra player you don't have to trade.
Plus captain, but I think the points are
too.
I think the points are probably in the other favour, but yeah.
Gawn has the buy, and I just feel there's no way. He's a 4 straight at some point, guaranteed.
Yeah,
because of injury.
Yeah, he looked injured on the weekend.
Yeah, it's a dangerous game with injured.
No,
I don't have him.
Hating Gawn's a very dangerous game, and it's ended seasons before, and it could do it again. But I do think we have
1 year it won't, and it will be a good decision. Maybe it's this year.
Okay.
I mean, same coin. I don't hope it's not, because obviously Gawney's a good player to watch, but it will happen. He can't go on forever.
Ruck rookies, Naismith and potentially Reedy from Fremantle, replacing Darcy.
I'm reading a DM that he might be the go. They might go with him, let him keep the ruck time, or at least a good chunk of it, and stick with Jackson more forward, because that's the way they wanted to go into the season. That would be lovely.
I don't want to play with this team anymore. What's this DM source? Is that a good source?
It's a person. It's not a reporter, so just hold your horses. But we'll see.
So if this was to happen, just hypothetical, let's play it out. Reedy's named there on the field with Jackson round 1. Are you getting 1 back off Jackson, and 2, are you starting Reedy R3, assuming Naismith's out for Nankervis and Lynch?
I think so.
Yeah.
What's Reedy? Has he got DPP or not?
Oh, he's just 124k ruck.
I mean, yeah, if he's playing.
Yeah.
Shrek's
Yeah, I'll
6 to
pick him
8.
after his name if Naismith's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
We get a timeline on Nank, proper one.
Yeah.
I'm not picking Jackson if Reedy's named. That would solve a lot of my issues. I still think he'll average like a premium with him though.
Still
I
get some
have
runs on, of
changed
course, but it wouldn't be like
these
75%.
Yeah.
freaking teams like 4 times in the last week. Jackson in, Jackson out, Jackson in, and then we have to do Jackson out again. I'm over it. Every time I finally get something, I'm like, oh, this finally looks all right, and I have to bloody go around and do it again. Can they just decide what they're doing, please?
They won't tell us till Thursday
Well,
night.
there was an article today.
Friday.
There was an article today in Perth newspaper, and it said that they're tossing up the boss of football said that he was weighing up whether to play like a Tracy or maybe a Voss or a Reedy. Now they might already know, and he's just talking to the media about that.
They probably have a good idea.
It sounds like they're considering it at least. So
Luke Jackson's a ruck. Just play him as a ruck.
But that's not what they want in the future. They want Shrek to be number 1 ruck and Jackson to be mostly forward.
Have a forward
Which is
craft with a chop out.
Which is great, but Shrek's your number 1 ruck, and he's not going to be there every week. I'm sorry. Like, you got to have a better backup than Reedy. I mean, I guess if Reedy's ready, then whatever, so be it. But, like, that seems wild to me. Okay. Well, I think that's frustratingly, that's the very last game of the round, and I can see us getting absolutely
Tigers have already
crushed with,
played.
like,
Yeah.
Oh,
so
we're not going to
hopefully
know. He's going to be extended bench, eh?
Friday night we'll find out. But we'll have to.
They played
Naismith.
Oh boy. Ryan Daniels, help, please find out early for us.
Save us.
There you go. Tom Morris just tweeted it. Like, we knew it because he said on the news, but Sean Darcy is set to miss another 6+ weeks following knee surgery. The Dockers had hoped for around 4-ish return, but now that appears highly unlikely. So straight from the journo's mouth, which was to be expected. At least we got that now. It could have just been 3 to 5 timeline, and then ended up being 4. But yeah, at least they've come out and said it.
Yeah. But anyway, on Reedy, he is a 22-year-old ruck. He scored 20 in like very low TOG. I think it was like TOG was in the 40s in the practice game where Luke Jackson did not play. I don't know if he played well or not.
Shrek sat at halftime, didn't come out after halftime, so he played the second half. I
couldn't tell you if he's any good or not because I don't remember. I can't even remember.
Game off at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched the first half too, so that makes sense. I don't remember him.
Yeah. Look, we'll have to wait
look at the vehicle numbers after.
But I think with the Naismith thing, like if he plays, you pick, and then if he doesn't, just go a loop.
I don't know if I want a loop. Do you go Naismith if he's not named?
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
If I've got Jackson to cover the rucks, I'm going like a loop, yeah. So I can get him in there for round 5 and 6.
Yeah. I think 5 it won't matter because a couple of rookies or the Sydney boys will be on bye that you can't.
No, it ends up working for me, I think. As long as one has been traded out, I think, yeah. Anyway.
It's a fair point. It's fluid. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah.
Forward line. We have 3 premiums here. Okay, I want to throw a 4th in Isaac Rankin, if you can call him a premium. Heaney, Flanders, Jackson, Rankin. Now, there might be others we're not aware of. I don't know. But this seems like the 4 that I've seen in teams. Rankin less so. Can we rank these? Heaney, Flanders, Jackson, and Rankin. JD, what are you thinking?
All right, so let's assume Shrek is out 8 weeks and Reedy doesn't come in. He is 1, Heaney is 2, Flanders is 3, Rankin is 4. If we assume that Reedy is in, I'd probably put Jackson to like 3 or 4 in that list instead. Probably still 3. There's no way I'm starting Rankin. So, and then it's a really weird one. I still don't know if I'm thinking about this right because Jackson and Heaney I both see as kind of like upside as long as their roles persist as like number one ruck or like number one mid. But I don't think they're season keepers. I don't think they keep the role for the whole year. Flanders, I'm pretty sure is a keeper for the whole year, and I'm pretty sure he keeps his role for the whole year. But I don't want to start him because of his bye, and probably prefer to trade into him. I'm not sure if I'm thinking about that right, or if in Supercoach I should just start Flanders, knowing that I'm going to want him in my side for the whole year.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
I think you summed it up well. Like, I think Flanders is obviously the most likely top 6 forward full season. But the other two might have some short-term upside that's higher. Jackson probably has no chance of being a season keeper, or at least at the scoring heights of what it would be with if he gets the current role. Heaney has somewhat, like at least a chance to possibly be a keeper. I mean, he did 101, wasn't it, 2 years ago, George? You would know off the top of your head, down to the decimal. And Flanders did what he did sort of back half of last year. So, yeah, I think I'd go like as pure starting picks. If Jackson gets a role, him probably close to 1. And then Flanders, then Heaney. But then you throw in the bye, and Flanders probably goes a step down. So, yeah. It's tough to order them with all those stipulations that we still don't have answers to.
People will say, what about Heaney? He's on the bye too. So why is his bye still in with him
early.
ahead of Flanders? Right?
40 in him now. And he's got this West Coast Richmond coming up.
Yeah. So he's got, Essendon, Richmond in 2 of the next 3 games. Did you say he's got West Coast as well?
The game before the bye, right?
Oh, yeah. So like Essendon, Richmond, West Coast, 1, 2, 3 in a row. He's got 120 as average, and then you can trade him off at a higher price to Flanders if you want to. Which people like don't buy flip, and that's probably fair. But if in those like 4 games you see him go back to the forward line, he should still be putting up good enough numbers that you can then choose what you want to do with him. But if he loses the midfield role, I'm less keen on Heaney. But anyway,
so George,
people gonna go on.
This. We get those 3 good games. He has the bye. I still hold. He can't. Round 6, they play Gold Coast. Parker should be back. Adam should be back. All going well. You still want to keep him for that because hopefully he has some good scores from before the bye in his system, and you want to get the rises out of him. You get to see that game. You get to see what the role is if it's shifted. And then if it has, I'd probably go to Flanders for round 7 when he has West Coast. That's what I was looking at.
Okay, 2 things here. Unfortunately for Heaney and Sydney players, he misses round 5, misses round 12. So he's got 2 games missing in, what is that, 7-game stretch, 8-game stretch.
Yeah,
it's almost an injury trade if you think of it like that. That being said, these round 5 is for upgrades, not for round 6, whatever. No, yeah, it's round 5, isn't it? Round 5 is it might be a week before. So I'd like to make progress with the team that week rather than sideways somebody. I guess you're going to bank some money most likely and get a rookie off the field. I will hold most likely, but we'll assess.
It's probably hard to guess, but I think both options are open, and that's kind of what's interesting about Heaney and maybe why like leaning towards starting him over a Flanders, even though Flanders is more likely to be best 22 come year end.
Yeah.
Well, fully fit, if he's moving well, and there are times where he will
fully
not
fit. Flanders is playing like 60% CBAs for the year. Heaney's not doing that.
Sorry.
You've got both?
Yeah.
So no Jackson at the moment?
No.
George has probably changed his team on the fly with the new news.
No, it's been good. I haven't changed since this afternoon. That's good.
So sorry, I missed this. So even with the news that Dust's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks, you wouldn't bring in Jackson?
What if Reedy comes in?
Assuming Reedy doesn't come in. Assuming Reedy's not named.
Yeah, I'm picking if he's not named. Yeah, I'm picking.
Well, I think I have to trade Jackson at some point, whereas I don't want to trade Heaney or Flanders.
Okay. I get that.
I mean, how many games? Hold on. How many games did Jackson have without Shrek last year?
It was like 118 average.
Yeah, 6 or 7.
I should be able to pull this up quickly, but like effectively, we're getting the 6 or 7 at the start, and then he averaged 98 for the year.
Could they change the mix at some point if they don't start Reedy. Maybe they're like 2 weeks in. Okay, let's bring him in.
8 without last year, 15 with 8 without.
I mean,
Yeah. It was 13 and 14. Shrek was out. Then he came back for 3. Then he missed the last 6 or 7.
I think
I
part of it
mean,
is
Jackson
us
did have the
changing team.
mickiest ruck fixture ever in that period of time. to be
He
fair,
did,
but,
yes. Yeah.
He had 43 hit outs
Hit
from
outs.
66 ruck contests against Sydney. Like he got like 77,
Wasn't it that
right? It's
bean pole we
ridiculous.
picked? McAndrew, whatever?
Oh, probably. It was probably something like that.
That praying
yeah.
mantis. Yeah. He's got absolute kissed matchups. But yeah, it's tough.
And he's more expensive too. He's 50k, 60k extra.
Yeah.
I think he's.
I don't want to think about it, George.
That's ride without him, no doubt, though.
It's similar in the same boat to Ollie Wines. I wouldn't have liked to have thought about him, but I just don't think I can pass it up.
Luke Jackson's like 640k Shrek's back in. You're cashing him, right?
Yeah.
Do you think once again Jackson without Reedy is a better pick than Gone, just head to head?
Then Gorn?
No,
because he doesn't have the buy. He's
I
got
think he is.
DPP, and
cheaper.
you're just using him as a stepping stone, right?
You
And
think Gorn went
he's
last
more
anyway,
durable.
George? So
I don't know.
I know you don't want to pick Jackson. I don't really either, but
I'm just thinking, like, I hadn't thought about this all before we started talking, but I just, like, I can see the arguments for, like, Jackson did 118 in that stretch. You want him for 8 games. Isn't that what you're hoping you get out of Gorn? But he's more durable. He's a better age, and he doesn't have a buy. And he's got DPP.
That's a fair point.
And he's
you can
40k
bring him
cheaper.
forward if you need to. Yeah. Yeah, it's a fair point.
That's so weird to think about. All right, let's sit on that.
Definitely
We
a
probably
fair
should
point.
keep going. We're at hour 20.
Yeah,
People
we
got
are.
things to do.
Are we doing a team list Friday? Probably is required. I know you guys are on
Yeah,
annual
yeah.
leave, taking 2 weeks
Yep.
off for the opening season. So
No. Just
I'm
2
kidding.
days. Just 2 days. I'll be around.
we should do. Yeah, we should.
Work from home, hopefully.
Could talk about it then.
Forward mid prices, we can move on. I feel like I'm missing someone, but I have Philippou, Fife, Jordan,
Philippou.
Harms. He's going to be CBA mid.
But no,
Not once
he hurt his
somebody
hip.
else returned.
He hurt his hip in the preseason. He was playing full-time mid.
They still have like Crouch and Zach Jones to come back.
Zach Jones, yeah. Crouch, yeah.
And Winhager
I'm just
as well,
saying,
who was
just
playing
saying,
midfield.
Look, no one's going to pick him, but I'm just saying, keep your eyes on him.
I
The
think
role's going to be
could
good,
have
I
had
think.
like Cam McKenzie or someone instead.
No, I'm taking Philippou
Just
over
the three.
Cam
Just do
McKenzie.
the 3 people who would even remotely
Oh,
consider.
where's Phillips going? Because he's not in Primo, he's not in mid-pricer. Sorry,
Who?
Fisher. Did I say Fisher?
Yeah. Fisher.
Oh, sorry, Fisher. Yeah, we'll throw Fisher in, I guess. Forgot him. Sort of in his own bracket, but
He's just
we're
a
picking
must.
Fisher, right?
Don't really worry about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
All right, so
fair
worry
enough.
about the others. Philippou, Fife, Jordan, Harms. If I had to put them in order, 1 Jordan, and don't care about the others.
I'll go Jordan, 5 Harms, Philippou. Is that
Yep.
pretty
That's
easy?
fine.
I would have thought.
Yep.
Yeah, with Fisher
And
as a lock, must pick.
honestly, Jordan and Fife are the only 2 I'm considering. I don't really care about Harms. I'm happy to correct him if I need to, but I'm just almost no way to start him.
No, other good options. Just I think that's pretty straightforward. I mean, if Philippou might be ahead of Harms, if what George is saying is true, we'll wait and see. But you just can't really pick him.
Yeah, I guess with Crouch come back in, see the CBAs then. Forward rookies, there's a lot, and it's hard to pick the right ones. I have listed here.
My spreadsheet capped out at like 50 of these. I think I had at least 50 listed that were either like relevant at some point or played preseason games. It's crazy.
Well, anyway, the list I have here, feel free to add more, is Harley Reid, Zane Dersma, Lazaro, Windsor, McNeil, Dempsey, Sexton, Wilson, Cadman, Campbell, and Burgess. We'll see if Sean Manor gets named or not, so keep him off the list for now. There's Harvey Thomas as well.
Jackson Mead, Kai Lohman,
There's
Sean
a lot.
Manor.
Let's just pick 3 or 4 that Like, I'm not going through all of these.
All right. So firstly,
Sexton, whatever, lock away.
everyone's got Reed and Sexton on field, right? Like just done,
Yeah.
bang bang.
Someone I
Then-
don't
Well,
read.
I'm thinking about benching Reed round 1.
Sure,
Yeah.
but like
Got him.
you expect to play him on field most of the year. Then
Yeah.
Darcy Wilson's on everyone's bench somewhere, either mid or forward.
Yeah.
Then for me, I think Lazaro and Cadman are the two that are next interesting. Lazaro, just because it feels like
Role.
he's been getting CBAs. The role should be okay. They seem to like him. I think his VFL numbers were okay. His preseason game was fine enough from a scoring perspective. And then Cadman obviously has like an okay score in his rolling average, but he's got West Coast and North in the first 2 games. If he gets a big spike score, you keep rolling. If he doesn't, you correct him to whoever you missed. So those are like my first 5 that I would pick. And then I think it really just depends on whether you need a 6th, just because of structure. And then I think you're looking at like a Windsor, Dempsey, Mead, probably not Mead, but like one of those types, I think, to fill it out.
I think you summed
We've
it
got
up.
Seth Campbell.
Oh yeah, Seth Campbell's a good one. I think is a 6 one, just because
With
once
the
again he's
70,
like,
he's got 76 in
Yep.
his system, I think.
so you can ride a 1 week price rise and then correct him if you need to. I think running Cadman and Campbell might be too much though. I'm not sure about that. How do you guys feel?
I have Cadman and Campbell on my F7, F8.
On the
So
bench.
you've no
Yeah.
Lazaro, or he's on field?
This is I don't know if this is the right thing. I don't have Lazaro at the moment, but I have money in the bank where Cadman just needs to make like 35k or something, and I can correct Lazaro if I need to.
Oh, interesting.
I'm not sure that's the right play because I'm going to have other stuff going on, but
As the Tigers man that doesn't want to speak about Tigers, I guess I'm a little bit worried about Campbell for 2 reasons. The role is what more like small, medium forward, not going to kick 2 goals every week based on what we saw from Tigers output. So like I think he's probably done enough to earn a couple of weeks extra job security, but I don't know what scoring we could expect. And we've got Dusty obviously returning, which I assume does affect him negatively in some way, even if he holds his spot.
Yeah. I think you summed it well. I think he's earned the chance to at least play the next couple of weeks. I just have no idea on his scoring. I think his fitness is good. He was still putting on pressure late in the game, kicked some nice goals. It's just how many chances he's going to get playing for us this season. So he's there at the base price if you need it, if you want to take a risk, if he's named Thursday night and just want to go with it and see what happens. But I might have Burgess ahead of him still if he's named as well. Like if he does get the gig first up, you'd be taking a risk on him as well with job security. But if he's picked round 1, it means they believe in him over like a Gallant George, and you know more than me. But, you know, this is why they got him. Phil Thorpe went down and he can fill that void as a third tall forward and then chop out in the ruck as he's done the last couple of years in the VFL and performed pretty good. More than good. I think he won 2 VFL Colemans or whatever you want to call, whatever that award is called. So I'm still interested in him, I think, as well.
yeah. Looking at Campbell's VFL numbers, 31 average from 5 games. Was he mid-season draft? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Or was rookie pick, sorry, 2022.
Yeah. He just was injured, I think, all of
But
last
he's
year.
like, there's on his draft profile, it says he got like, he kicked 10 goals, 6.
Some
and had
Tassie
32
game against
touches.
men or
and
something, yeah.
Bush League.
Yeah, look. I liked what I saw.
19 touches in the VFL, in the NAB League, sorry. It was
It all
okay.
depends. I'm going to have Cadman over him, and then if you've got the money, I think, yeah, maybe you just take the punt on Lazaro, depending what you think their team sheets look like. But yeah.
Lazaro, I definitely prefer for sure.
No, of course. I mean,
Money.
yeah, it's just the money.
But the early price rise is the plan at the moment, and then correct where we need to. Hopefully that goes well. I'm not sure.
I think I need to go back to this as much as I don't want to. And that's then a more Luke Jackson, Sean Darcy conversation, because Ryan Daniels, who you called for some help from before, has just gone. So if you were asking, so I will clarify. And just Tom Morris's tweet was 20 minutes ago. So this is basically in response to that without tagging him. But my understanding is the Freo Dockers ruck Sean Darcy remains on track to play within 4 weeks. Progressing well following surgery, rehab can throw up setbacks, but as of right now, nothing has changed. Justin Longmuir is on 7 News Perth tomorrow night. So this just gets even worse. and worse.
Officially,
Um,
injury report will come tomorrow.
It will.
Man, this Jackson
but
talk. We've wasted like half this pod, I reckon, talking about Jackson, and we don't even know what's happening.
Bring that up.
This is what a joke. We apologize to our listeners. This is.
I'm not talking about it any more than that. I'm just going to.
Disgraceful.
Yep. Anything else, George?
I suppose we can rank these rookies. Harley Reid 1, I guess. No, Sexton probably 1.
Yeah, Sexton 1.
2, Reid. Wilson 3. Lazaro 4. Probably Burgess 5.
Something like that. Maybe
which I don't know Burgess, so that makes no sense. But I'll touch on Burgess.
Yeah, you go.
I was not aware. I think you pointed it out, in the Discord. His VFL numbers are absurd.
It's pretty ridiculous.
It is
Sorry?
bag every week.
Big Chrissy Burgess.
Chris Burgess.
Oh.
And it's like, was it 20 hitouts a game?
It wasn't a game. It was in games that he rucked. He was getting but he's having like 20 hitouts, kicking 3. I think he was just doing it all for him.
Yeah. So sounds
Spicer in our Discord would know he's Gold Coast fan, but I think he won some. I think with the Coleman back to back, or at least an award back to back. So
the way I see it is we've got Thilthorpe's out for 3 months, so forget him.
Yep.
Taylor Walker's had some back spasms in the past week or 2. I don't know the severity. I don't know the availability. It sounds like he's playing. I don't think he's on the injury list, but that was reported somewhere. I can't remember where, but I did read that. And it's between him and Gollant for the 3rd spot. Sounds like Burgess is ahead. If Burgess doesn't perform, I guess he'll be out for Gollant.
Yeah, that's
so it'll be performance-based. It does sound like he's ahead, though. And VFL numbers, if they're anything to go by, Burgess is looking better there. So
he had 4 games of 5 goals, 1 with 8. The numbers are crazy. Yeah. A couple of games with 10 marks. Yeah, I can see a few games here with like 20-plus hitouts as well.
And Thilthorpe's that backup ruck, so he's going to get some ruck time.
Yeah. I mean, Rob's pretty good at shouldering most of it. Like, he's fit as a fiddle.
Yeah.
But he'll at least get some. I think there's upside, right? There's possibility he can, come in, do well. Got a point to prove. He's playing Gold Coast first up, which is fitting if he gets the nod, like his old team. So,
yeah.
Who knows?
That's why this Cadman Campbell early price
strategy,
rise.
Yeah. But like if Cadman makes enough where he can get rid, then you're probably keeping him. So, like, I know if he goes like 30-30, he's going to make a little bit, and you can, we'll see.
Only takes one bag and bang, he scored 100, and then you need to get him basically. So,
yeah.
Do you guys have anything else to add on the rookies, or want to rank them yourselves? Anything like that?
Nah, I just think Sexton locked onto your field every week as the number 1. Reid can be matchup dependent if you're feeling that way inclined, or you've got a structure where you might have to do that, or you want to field Cadman like I do, probably the first couple of weeks.
That'd be fun.
See what happens, ride the roller coaster, see if you can kick a bag. But yeah, I think you've got a pretty spot on. Second, clear number 1, and then Lazaro, I'm still unsure about. I just don't know what the preseason.
The competition for spots is very weak for Lazaro.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have had bad vibes about Lazaro. I think I've been one of the more negative ones on him. So he's in my side, but I'm looking. I'm like, oh, maybe I should just go Campbell and roll with him, and then see what happens. Even if I don't use Lazaro's money, just keep it in the bank and see, because it could be Burgess. You're right. It could be someone else that pops up.
Yeah.
I think they like Lazaro and they don't like Phillips. I just feel that's how things have played out over the past.
Oh, for sure. But I think they play different roles. Like Phillips has to play on ball, and Lazaro can actually do some of the half forward stuff.
But why, if they do, why last year did he just play VFL every week? He'd come in for 1 week, Lazaro, he'd be sub or whatever. He'd come on.
And Cunnington played.
But Phillips was still ahead, right?
No, when Clarko was coaching, he was out the team. When Rutten was coaching, he was in.
Okay. That's crazy though, isn't it? Hey, Phillips might be just VFL player.
Yeah, I actually had one more question as well on the forwards. with Hogan obviously kicking a bag and having that same soft matchup as Cadman does with North and West Coast the next two. So he's got a big score on his average, and then those two games. Like, any consideration with starting him for a couple of price rises, see how he goes over those games, and then moving him on, kind of like Tex Walker style from a couple of years ago.
It's a serious play for sure.
It's an option. I'll just take the 123 or 120, whatever he is, 130
the same cash,
rookie. That's also a key forward in that team. I can envisage you picking Hogan. Whoever does, good luck to you. Him kicking 2, Cadman kicking 5, and having Hogan on your field and Cadman on the bench, and that would just be one of the most all-time saltiest things to see and watch when they win by 100 points. Hogan gets injured or kicks 2 and doesn't do much, and Cadman kicks like a bag.
It could be inaccurate or
exactly,
whatever.
Yeah.
If that can happen. It's not for me, but my word, it can pay off.
If you're ballsy enough, hey, I think.
Have you seen North's forward line? Like Toby Green and Hogan are going to cause so much terror to that back line. Sorry, not back line. Not forward line, back line.
Yeah.
West Coast have
they got McGovern and Barras fit for now. So, yeah.
I like. What do you even do with him in round 3?
Yeah, if he has a couple of big games, you probably still need another price rise out of him, right? Especially if it's the North game that he has a big one and the West Coast he doesn't, you can probably move him on. But if it's the other way around, it's tricky. And if he has a bad game against like North first week, what do? Do you move him on straight away? That's tough.
Almost would.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we can wrap it up. It's an hour and a half. Should be good this season. Interesting year. I hope we get off to a good start. Certainly, I didn't get off to a good start last year, but that would be nice. So, anything to add? Any last words?
I mean, best 18, it might be hard to go too much of a fast start. It's going to be very clogged for a while until it breaks out, and we'll only get 6 or 7 weeks of 22 until it's back to 4 more bye rounds. Like, it's just a bit of a weird year. It's going to be a few bye rounds. 7 best 22, 4 more bye rounds, then another 7 or 8, whatever best 22. Like, it's different game these days. And if opening round sticks around, then we're gonna have to get used to it. But
8
I think
bye
as
rounds
far as
sucks.
yeah,
I think it's 8 out of 24. It's not the worst, but not great.
What happens when the Tassie team comes in? Is it like NRL Supercoach? Because I've looked at that and played it here and there. One team has a bye every week since they got a new team last year. Just rotate like it was when GWS first came in back in the day. That wouldn't be fun.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Maybe we think we've had it too good for too long, having it normal, but I don't know.
No, it should be fun. I think like within the game, the players and picks themselves and all that, sorting all that and thrifting or sifting through all that and trying to figure it out is fun. So, yeah.
Anything from you, JD?
Team stream on Friday.
Jackson back out, Fife in, crash up the bond. Let's go. I just want the game to start so I can stop touching the team.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening.
I swear tomorrow we will hear that like Shrek's been amputated, and then we'll hear that he's got a bionic leg and he's playing in 2 weeks. Like this is the most ridiculous stuff. Just tell me what's happening.
Probably does need a bionic knee at this point.
I'm almost inclined to trust Tommy Morris more than Rhino. Like Tommy, he wouldn't just come out with that. Where would he get that info from? And then Rhino's like the Freo mouthpiece trying to say, "Nah, it's all good." Yeah, he's a WA guy. I don't know.
I do feel like Rhino's got
he does
journalistic integrity, right? Like he wouldn't.
Yeah.
I
mean, if I was like bet on it, Shrek
I think if he knew he was being fed false stuff as well, he probably just wouldn't say anything and just let the story go. So I don't know. I have to tune into like Hardball Gets something this week and see if we get any intel on that.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Thank you everyone for listening, and we will see you on Friday. I think Thursday or Friday, one of the 2 days.
Friday's probably better, I think, because you get the full Sunday teams, and Freos will be one of them, and we'll probably need that.
Easy. All right. Thanks for joining, guys, and we'll see you on Friday.
Peace.